Welcome. Anthony Cumia in for Alex Jones. Happy New Year, everybody. Hope you had a good one. My God, 2017 is just going to be amazing, I think, under the leadership, finally some leadership of a President Trump. Uh, I think we've seen already how effective he can be without even being president. Without even being president. He's obviously getting companies to keep their business here in this country. Um, he's put the fear of a real leader into people, and I think leaders from around the world are starting to see it. We've had 8 years of Obama, 8 years, and everything that's coming out now, where people are criticizing Trump, can be traced back to his lack of leadership. I was watching the Russian hacking hearings today. Oh my God. Let me tell you something. Watching politicians, we got spoiled. We got spoiled with Donald Trump and all the stuff from the primaries and then the election and the debates that him and Hillary. We got spoiled. We forgot what real American politics was like. Boring, boring as hell. And I'm watching these hearings today, and well, Mr. Chairman, I would like to first thank you for your body of work over the many years that you have been in the blah, blah, blah. Shut up. I was getting nauseous listening to this, but they decided to all get together and have a hearing on this and kind of, hey, what are we going to do? The Russians and China and North Koreans, amongst others, Iran, they're all hacking us, and we don't know what to do about it. We heard people calling for preemptive strikes, cyber strikes, if you will, and these these comments were coming from people that have no clue what cyber is. I'm watching some of these congressmen speaking, and it's just these senators. They didn't know what they were talking about. They can't comprehend. Think about your mom or your grandmother and how inept she is when it comes to cyber, computers, the phone. You ever see that commercial for the jitterbug on TV? It's the jitterbug. It's a phone with big buttons on it. I need big buttons. Does it have a camera? How many? Oh, what do I need a camera for? I have my Kodak Instamatic. They don't know the jitterbug. And look, they're showing people that are definitely too young to use the jitterbug. But a lot of these people, they don't know what they're even talking about as far as cyber goes. And then they're trying to tell us what we have to do to fix a problem that's governments are intruding on our classified information because they're hacking our computers. It was sad to watch. It was like that friend at a party that knows nothing about sports that tries to get into the sports conversation. And you're just like, oh, shut up. You're embarrassing yourself. That's pretty much what it was. It was embarrassing to watch. There were a few people in there in the hearings that knew what they were talking about and had some generally good ideas. But uh, a few things I didn't like. They keep talking about the Russians hacking the election. This is just completely fake. There's this image that conjures, especially since a large portion of the population aren't savvy either, like these old jitterbug using congressmen and senators. They don't know what hacking is. They see it in movies. They read about it in books and fiction books. Uh, so when they say the election was hacked by the Russians, they picture, Natasha, I have been to the American computers. Now we will destroy Yeah, here's a prime example. They used a Fallout 4, a video game graphic, as part of the news to show the hacking that went on. Really? That's what they're doing? Because they want to portray it as a hack, that this fictional hacking that we hear about and see in movies and whatnot. When the truth of the matter is, someone got their hands on the DNC emails that were leaked because one of the dummies used a password. That's pretty much it. Therein lies the problem. Not that Russia is hacking us, because of course Russia's hacking us. We're hacking Russia. China, we're hacking them. Everyone's hacking everybody. Yeah, no Clinton aide, John Podesta. Yeah, password. Podesta. He wanted the, well, what should I do for a password? How about password? That was, ever since passwords were a thing, when people had to put passwords in, there was a rule. Never use the word password. That was pretty much the rule. But this idiot and the numerous other idiots that decide they're just going to leave this valuable information unsecured. Hillary Clinton had an unsecured server she was using. What do you expect, the Russians or any other foreign country to not hack us? Stop. Now you're just being naive and silly. They're going to. It's part of the game. It's part of the espionage that has been happening forever. The second somebody made a country and another country was made, they started trying to screw each other over and spied on each other. It's never going to stop. So when you have this espionage going on, hacking is a big part of it now. So they will continue. But the thing is, make sure your stuff is in order. Make sure your password is in password. Make sure your Secretary of State doesn't have a server that she's using sending stuff to her daughter about the wedding. Because therein lies the problem. We've had 8 years of Obama doing nothing as far as buttoning up our cybersecurity. So now when the election happens and WikiLeaks releases these documents that, by the way, none of them were refuted. The Democrats didn't go, hey, that's a lie. So the worst thing that happened with this hack was that we all got honest information about the DNC. Is that bad? Is that a bad thing that we actually got information that showed them for the shills that they are? I think that's pretty good. Again, it wasn't a hack, but they want to present it that way, and it's dishonest. And then I heard them saying one of the military gentlemen that was doing the hearing was saying, "Hey, our intelligence agency is amazing, amazing people working for it. You should trust it. Here's what the American," and this is what they were saying. Here's what the American people need to do to help us out. You got to take all this hack stuff that you read with a grain of salt. That's what they said. Now, remember, none of the DNC documents and emails and all that were refuted by anybody. They were facts. These were actual emails that were sent. They're telling us, yeah, don't pay attention to those. Listen to us. We'll tell you what's legit and what's not. That is frightening. And no one's willing to do it anymore. No one's willing to just take an entity's word for it anymore. Real life house of cards. Yeah. No one is willing to just say, hey, the CIA is saying we should listen to them, and to help out our national security as far as this hacking goes, what we have to do is when you read something, don't read it. If you want to read something that has been hacked and presented to you, don't you look at it. We'll let you know. Is anyone falling for that anymore? Have we seen the blatant lies that have come out of our own government? the blatant lies and collusion that comes out of the media, does anyone have any trust in the media anymore? It really is. If Donald Trump does nothing else, if for 4 or 8 years, he did one great, amazing thing, completely pulled every bit of camouflage off of the media to show them as the liars and shills for their candidate that they are. And it did irreparable damage. No one is just taking what the media says at face value anymore and believing it. We're looking around now. We're checking alternative sources for our news. I don't even go to the news sites right away anymore in the morning when I go to check what's been happening. I go right to social media because I know what the most important story to the mass of people are that day. It will be right there. And mainstream media, they will feed you what they want you to know or not know, or they'll feed you the misinformation that they want to give you. Really? Are we going to go back to that? Irreparable damage was done, and if Trump can be thanked for anything, it was really exposing them. Anthony Cumia, Infowars.com for Alex Jones. We'll be back in a little while. I want to talk about these celebrities that think they have influence over anybody. Be right back.